You're listening to Jordana Green, weeknights from 9 to 11 on News Radio 830 WCCO and WCCO.com.
Chris is a prince because he is an only. He doesn't have a baby sister, baby brother to worry about, or he doesn't have an older sister, older mean brother bossing him around all the time. It's just him. You're the prince, right?
That's right.
Okay, was it good growing up as an only?
No, it was horrible. Actually, I mean, all I ever wanted was another brother or sister. To have that. Yeah, I mean, I was always jealous of people that had brothers and sisters. And then when we had kids, it was an absolute no-brainer. We were going to have one and immediately going to have another one.
Right, because they need a sibling.
Yeah, and my wife has a brother, but he's like way older. He's like 10 years older.
Oh, I see. So they weren't friends growing up.
Really. I mean, they were, but they were close, but they weren't. Yeah, probably friends. I mean, he was so much older, they didn't get to go out and do things together.
He's more like a babysitter.
Yeah, I
probably.
Guess.
Well, I'm a middle. I have an older sister who was mean to me, as older sisters should be, and she used to yell when I'd borrow her clothes, which I always did. And I had a little brother who would annoy me, but was more tolerant of me. But he was the prince because my parents had two girls, and of course they wanted a boy, and they finally got the boy, so then he shows up, and then it all goes out the window. They don't care about us at all. And you learn this the hard way when you go look through the pictures, like for your graduation or when you're getting married, to make the wedding video. You want all these baby pictures of you leading up to the wedding, that kind of thing. And there are none when you're the middle child. The prince, there's plenty of my brother. There's plenty. They're still taking of my 38-year-old brother now, okay? And there's lots of my sister because she's the first, so they have all the school pictures in order, the years and all that stuff. Me, forget about it. I had to scrape. I had to call relatives to send me pictures or cut me out of a holiday picture that they might have had in their house. Such is the bane of the middle child. My next guest, Bruce Hopman, knows full well about the bane of the middle child. He blogs at Mid-Kid Musings, MIDKID Musings, because he too, my friend, is a middle child. And now we're going to whine a little bit about that with you. Bruce, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Jordana. You know what? I am sending you. I'm the founder and the head of the International Middle Child Union. I am sending you a membership card as soon as we get off the phone. You must be a member. You've nailed everything. You've hit all the things already. The photo is a big thing.
Right. There's no pictures of me. They didn't care.
Every middle child knows all about that.
Okay, so describe then to us, because I asked John Williams this, and I don't think he was a middle. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my throat tonight. He said or maybe he wasn't middle. He said he was the peacemaker in his family. Are the middles the peacemaker, or are we the hellions?
Well, that's what they say. People say, and these are the experts, say we are the peacemakers because we are stuck in the middle. So we're trying to, we'll basically go whichever way the wind blows. If we can make an alliance with the older sibling, we'll do that. If we can make an alliance with the younger sibling, we'll do that. But most of the time, since we're stuck in the middle, we are trying to make peace. We're trying to make things work. On the other hand, we also are trying to cause trouble because we want the attention.
Yes.
This is the thing. It's this vicious cycle of being a middle child. You cause the trouble. Maybe that's why we cause the trouble, so that we could be the peacemaker, so that we could solve the problems, so that we could be the favorite for once. So it's really messed. You grew up one. It's really messed up. Now, you grew up, by the way, in the same situation I did as a middle child. Family of three, so you're a smack dab middle child. Mm-hmm. Nobody, you're outnumbered by the older and the younger. And then, like I have an older brother, so your parents had your older sister. And it's only human nature. What did they want next?
They want the other one.
Well, they don't want to repeat. They want something different, something new.
Right.
But then what happened? They had us, and they're like, "Oh crap!
Oh my gosh. Now I got to have another one."
Exactly. And then they had the other one, and what did they have? They had the boy, they had the girl, and they were like, "Okay, we're done. That's what we really wanted." So it kind of just cemented it in your mind. So as a middle child, you grow up kind of wondering about this stuff. It doesn't hit you when you're young necessarily, but as you start getting a little older, you start to wonder about these things. And I like to say, being a middle child is the gift that keeps on giving, because you could find out. I found out things just last week. I realized things about. Oh my God! I never knew this. This is why I am the way I am. My initials, okay. My initials are BS. Now, right? We know what BS. I mean, that's not good.
Hey, Bruce.
That's not great. My brother. Do you know what my brother's initials are? MD. I mean,
God.
really, a doctor, and I get BS. I mean, come on.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
okay, well,
true.
Bruce, tell me a little bit about this International Middle Child Union, or Mid-Kid Musings. Why did you start this? Did you feel like we middle children needed to unite in a group?
Well, it started, let me tell you, first of all, the blog is at smackdabblog.com. And what it is I like to say it's a repository for all things middle children. Now, other people might say it's a suppository for all things middle children, but it's a place where you could go to, we talk about middle child stuff, whatever the topic. If it's Valentine's Day, Halloween, politics, I formed the Middle Child Party. There's all kinds of stuff there. So if you're a middle child, know a middle child, ever felt like a middle child, you'll find something you can relate to and probably laugh at smackdabblog.com. I formed the union because I was doing some research for a book that I'm writing, and I don't know if you knew this. August 12th. Does that date mean anything to you? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it could, yeah.
August 12th is Middle Child's Day.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I've been a middle child
I didn't know that.
my whole life.
Yeah.
So it's like they gave us this holiday just so they could ignore it. It was just, how ironic was that? So I said, you know what, something needs to be done. I'm going to call a global strike. This was 2 summers ago. I'm going to call a global strike. All middle children of the world we're going on strike on August 12th to raise awareness for Middle Child's Day. But I realized in order to have a strike, you really need to have a union.
Yes.
So I formed the International Middle Child Union, which you will be receiving your membership card on.
I appreciate that.
So,
how did the strike go, by the way? Did anybody care?
It kind of went viral. It got a lot on Facebook, on Twitter, shared over 1 million times. I was speaking to radio stations, newspaper, TV stations all day long, and I realized that I might be onto something here. It seems birth order is kind of a hot topic for people. People have very strong feelings
totally.
about this. I mean, we middle children know the truth. But I'll speak to people who are firstborns who think they had it the worst because they were the trailblazers in the family and they were the experimental kid.
I'm sick of them.
Right? And then the babies. I mean, to hear a youngest complain is just a joke.
The spoiled one.
But you know, they say they were the most ignored, which is just ridiculous, as we know. But you know, here's the thing. You know, speaking to you now at this time of year with Hanukkah tonight and Christmas coming up, middle child syndrome, holidays are really rough times for middle children.
Can I just tell you a story?
Sure.
It was one Hanukkah night.
It's your show.
I know, it was one Hanukkah night. My sister was sort of the fashionista of the group. She got some great top that she wanted. And my brother was really into Star Wars at the time. He got like the big AT-AT. I mean, I'm really dating myself. You know, it's the 80s or whatever. He got some $50 Lego toy or whatever, some Star Wars toy. My parents look at me. I got a Rubik's Cube. And I said, guys, really? Like, this isn't even fun for me. I'm not good at math. I really, well, you didn't tell us what you wanted. That's what they say. So we just got you this. I said, really? And I remember saying this to them. I go, honestly, I feel like no effort went into this. So like, well, what are we going to do? Like, I can see they're shrugging. I can see them shrugging at me right now. Worst Hanukkah night ever.
Well, so this is the thing with holidays, and particularly holidays where gifts are involved, because it's right there in front of you. You can just compare. You know, with birthdays is one thing; they're spread out throughout the year,
right, yeah.
So it's a little hard to remember who got what when. But on Christmas, they're right there, and on Hanukkah, if you're a Jewish middle child, I mean, it's 8 times worse. This goes on 8 nights in a row. Right. So you got the whole family there. You got all that sibling stuff going on, and then you got the presents smacking you in the face with the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's a horrible, horrible time. So this is why around holidays, the International Middle Child Union, we raise the Middle Child Syndrome Advisory to code red, because people should be aware. People need to be aware so they can, you know, deal appropriately with the middle child. Look, you and I know, even if they didn't get you the Rubik's Cube, whatever they got, we were going to have a problem with it.
Yeah, right.
We would have a problem with it, whatever they did, because that's our nature. But
Bruce, I have to ask you this. My mom's got a theory. She claims that I'm not an official middle child because, and excuse my throat, because she thinks a middle child can only be if the 3 are the same gender. I say that's bull.
That's ridiculous.
Thank you.
That is just totally ridiculous.
I tell her it's worse for me.
I've done a full study on this. There's a post at the blog called, I believe, a study in middleocrity, and I've developed the middle child spectrum. And on the outer ring of the spectrum are those people who weren't even born a middle child, but I call them middle child sympathizers, people who know what it feels like to be left out, left alone, left behind. So they're middle child sympathizers. And then right in the middle are the smack dab middle children like you and me, the only one in a family of three. But if you're not the firstborn or the lastborn, what else are you? You're either first, last, or you're in the middle.
You're stuffed in the middle.
So there's a range of middle children. There are families where the middle children outnumber the first and the lastborn, but still, if you're not the first or the last, you're in the middle. And I think that's part of the problem with being a middle child. You know, our parents, I know my parents loved me, and they probably treated us all equally. But who wants to be the middle? Just the nature of being in the middle. What's the worst seat on the airplane?
Yeah. Oh, honey, don't get me started.
Right, the middle seat. What's the worst finger on your hand?
Oh.
Right, the middle. Middle is never. People don't strive to be in middle management or have middle, income.
We don't.
Nobody wants to be. The middle is not a good. When you're stuck someplace, when nowhere is. It's the middle of nowhere that makes it worse. So being a middle child just by nature, you're starting out with two strikes against you.
I totally agree. How many do you have, Bruce?
3.
Oh.
Of course, it's a self-perpetuating thing. Now, I like to believe that I fixed the problem because my daughter, I believed at the time, was born in the best position a middle child could be born in. I had a son, and then I had a daughter.
Uh-huh.
I had a third child, so I was done. And my father kept saying to me, which really made me feel good, "Why are you having a third?
Oh, God.
You already have a boy and a girl." I'm going, "Thanks, Dad. Thanks for reinforcing everything I knew." But then we had a boy. So my daughter
you go
had
boy,
to know
girl, boy. Yes.
We weren't trying to have something. We didn't care. We had a boy, but I got to tell you, she's quite the middle child. So it doesn't. There is no cure for middle child syndrome. But you also have 3 children, I believe. Is that true?
Okay, I have 3, but here's the deal. I feel like I kind of lucked out too because I had a girl, and then I had a boy. And then I really wanted a third. I don't know. I just wanted 3. And then I had a girl. So it worked out well. And I always tell the third, I tell her this. I don't really tell her, but I tell other people this. That's the one I wanted. Look, you have to have a kid. You get married, right? It's the American dream. You have a kid. So you get what you get. The first is a girl. Great, no problem. Then you kind of want the other one. You have to experience the other gender. We lucked out. We got a boy. So I had to have them. This one is the one I wanted. So there you go. I got my perfect human. She's my number 3. But my guy's in the middle. So I can get away with saying things like, "You're my favorite son."
Of course.
Because he's the only one.
Everybody in your family has a special, but you're the first one, you're the last one, and you're the only boy. Now, let me just, I read your article in Minneapolis, Minnesota Monthly, and I know you have a penchant for gift giving.
Oh, you read my blog.
A great thing you can do for your son and for all middle children listening, if you have parents of middle children listening, this is something you'll see at the blog, smackdabblog.com. I opened up the Smack Dab shop, and it's middle child apparel. Now, it's a cafe press shop, so whatever you buy, they make some money off of. Whatever money I would make, I donate to UNICEF, so it'll benefit all children. So it's a nice cause. You'll be doing something nice for your middle child and something nice for children all around the world. But you could order your gifts now. It's International Middle Child Union logo T-shirts and Middle Child Party T-shirts. But what I'm really excited about there, I have a line of never-before-worn hand-me-down clothes. As a middle child, because what's the worst part of the hand-me-downs? The clothes can be nice, but somebody wore them before. I remember at one point in my life wondering, "Oh my God, am I wearing my brother's underwear? This is horrible."
You probably were.
I probably was. So what I've done is taken that stigma off of it. This is never-before-worn clothes, and they're T-shirts and apparel that say things like, "This was my sister's sweatshirt. These were my brother's shorts." So a thoughtful gift for this way they could still have the hand-me-downs, but they don't have to worry about all the icky stuff about other people wearing them. So I suggest you look at that and pick out a nice gift for your son there for Hanukkah. They might still get there in time for Hanukkah, but you know what? If they don't get there in time,
it's okay. He's used to it. He's the middle, right?
Exactly.
It'll come on Christmas.
You can get him a gift a week later. Sorry, we forgot.
Look,
they don't remember Middle Child's Day, so why should they remember, anything?
Bruce Hopman at Mid-Kid Musings. The blog is smackdabblog. Dab
Smack
blog.
Dab blog.
I followed them on Twitter. I will post him on my CCO Facebook site. This was pure hilarity. Bruce, thank you so much. Promise you'll come back on the show and keep us posted.
I'm a middle child. I'll come back anytime you call me, and your membership card is in the email.
I will be posting that on Facebook as well.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Bruce. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Middle children everywhere. Unite! Hands up, unite! Hands up, unite!